guys, how's it going? Master Bucks here. Welcome on back to another FIFA 22 video. Today we're not breaking down a trailer or talking about a new mode or anything. No, today I thought I'd have a bit of fun. I haven't really been able to predict anything since the Euros wrapped up, and I mean, it's too early to start calling the Premier League or anything, so I'm going to have a go at predicting player overalls for FIFA 22. I'm going to go through some of the players that I feel either deserve an upgrade or a downgrade. I'm going to make my call. You guys let me know what you think, and yeah, we'll just see how we go. These are pretty educated guesses, alright? So don't worry, I'm not going to give like N'Golo Conte 98 or something. Alright, let's see what we get. Starting off with Lionel Messi. He leads the goals and assists for this calendar year. Still seems in fine form. Obviously just won his first international trophy, and he's probably almost definitely going to win the Ballon d'Or this season or this year as well. So I don't see how he could possibly get a downgrade, but with that being said, despite how brilliant he's been, and despite the fact he's probably going to win the Ballon d'Or, I still don't think you give him an upgrade. I don't know if even as brilliant as he's been, you give him 94 from 93, which was what he was at the start of FIFA 21. For me, I think you probably keep him at a 93. It's still a ridiculously high number that he definitely deserves, but it'd be way too harsh to give him a downgrade, and I don't think you should give him an upgrade either. So 93. I think 93 is fine. Second is Cristiano Ronaldo. He was 92 at the beginning of FIFA 21. And look, he had a great Euro performance as well. He nearly ended up in the Europa League next season. And if that had happened, then that would have seriously, I think, had a bad effect on his, not just game, but also his potential overall. Him losing the title in a team that has won Serie A and dominated Serie A for almost a decade now is not a good look, but because of his really good Euro performance, even if it was kind of short-lived, I'm very tempted to give him like a 91, but I think it's just a bit tough. I mean, I don't want to really judge overalls purely off of the Euro competition. I think if we're looking at, you know, what he's done, I think maybe a 91 is deserved, but I'm going to be nice to Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm going to be nice to him. I'm going to keep him at a 92 as well. So Messi and Ronaldo stay at 93 and 92. Next up is Kylian Mbappe. And again, you're going to think I'm just fence sitting at this point, but I promise you there will be some changes in overalls eventually. But Mbappe was 90 at a FIFA 21. In FIFA 22, I'm going to keep him at a 90 as well, because again, still putting up great numbers. His team performance did not go great. France did not go all that well at the Euros. And of course, PSG didn't win the title either. So you could argue it's kind of the same with Ronaldo. Maybe he deserves a bit of a downgrade, possibly. But I think it's too early for him. He's still too young. We can't be downgrading Mbappe already. So I'm going to keep him at a 90 overall, but not increasing him. Now then, moving on. Let's actually start upgrading some people, all right? Changes in overall. Robert Lewandowski, from a 91, I'm putting him up to a 92 because I genuinely believe that he should have been a 92 overall at the beginning of FIFA 21 anyway. He has got the most goals so far this year out of any other player in Europe's top 5 leagues, all right? He is the best striker in the world, and when he's on his game, he's unbelievable. He should have won and should have been given the Ballon d'Or last year. I think France football fucked up massively. I think it's totally unfair on Robert Lewandowski that he is not going to win a Ballon d'Or. The only way that I could see him getting it is if they somehow combined last year and this year's, 2 years together for one Ballon d'Or. That's probably the only chance that he has of getting one. But regardless, I think Robert Lewandowski should definitely get an upgrade to a 92. Next up is Neymar. Now, again, I actually said in a video once before that I think on his day, Neymar is the second best footballer on the planet. But, of course, he's missed a lot of football as of late. And again, the same with Mbappe. Team performance hasn't been amazing. He did make the Copa America final. And if he had won it, maybe I would have argued that you could keep him at a 91. But I think, putting everything into perspective, I think a slight downgrade for Neymar is on the cards. But I think he should still stay in the 90s. So I'm going to give him a flat 90 overall. First goalkeeper we're going to talk about today is ter Stegen. Still one of the best goalkeepers in the world, for sure. But had a lackluster season for Barcelona, I think it's got to be said. I'm going to give him a downgrade as well. We're going to knock him out of the 90s and we're going to put him into the high 80s. So I'm going to give him an 88 overall. I still fully believe that Marc-Andre ter Stegen can definitely get back into the 90s in FIFA 23 or 24 possibly, but I think just off of last season that maybe a slight downgrade is probably justified. Now, back into the upgrades. Let's talk about Harry Kane. He was 88 overall at the beginning of FIFA 22. I think this man deserves an upgrade. Maybe by +1 would probably be fair, but I think Harry Kane has done enough at this point to really put himself into the 90s. One of the best strikers in the world for sure. Was quiet in the Euros, but still popped up and scored a couple of decent and very handy goals. And the fact that he absolutely did incredibly in the Premier League for Tottenham, okay? The most goals. He got the Golden Boot in the Premier League last season. And also, just to go along with it, the most assists in the Premier League as well. Looking back, he really should have won Player of the Season over Ruben Dias. It's kind of mad that you can be the guy that's got the most goals out of anyone, the most assists out of anyone. I don't know the last time that would have happened. What would have been like? My best guess is like Thierry Henry way back in the early 2000s. So yeah, Kane should have got Player of the Season looking back, and he should definitely be a 90 overall player in FIFA 22. A downgrade here for Sadio Mane. Struggled for Liverpool. Liverpool in general really struggled quite badly, but I think Mane was one of the bigger culprits. I don't think he had his best season. He definitely didn't. I think he definitely deserves to be knocked out of the 90s now. I'm maybe kind of surprised he ever actually got into the 90s. I think a high 80, like 89, 88 would have been fine. And I'm going to say he should be an 88 now in FIFA 22. I was almost tempted to give him an 87, but I think I'll be nice because a -3 downgrade would be pretty tough. And I'm sure Liverpool will bounce back this season and he will definitely have a better season anyway. Another downgrade coming up, and I think this will be the first one that maybe gets a few people rolled up. It's actually going to be for Raheem Sterling. He was like 88 overall at the beginning of FIFA 21. I mean, that is a pretty high overall for him. And I honestly think he should be downgraded, not just by 1, but possibly even by 2. You could argue because he had a sort of okay Euro performance that maybe he should only go down to an 87, but I'm still going to say an 86 because, look, he didn't have his best season for Manchester City and he might have been okay in the Euros for a little bit. He kind of, after the Germany game, sort of went away. Yes, he had that one incident where he, I'm going to say it, but please don't be salty. He fucking, like, we all know that he dived to win the penalty. It's okay. It's done. It's finished. The tournament happened, whatever. But he had that one incident against Denmark that got them the penalty. But that was really all he seemed to do after the Germany game, really. He wasn't much of an influence after the fact. And look, don't get me wrong as well. He wasn't awful in the Premier League last season either. In fact, he actually sort of had some okay stats. Nothing that warrants an upgrade, but it's his performances in the Champions League. He really did nothing in the Champions League. That guy, I don't think I've seen one really high-level player underperform so much in one specific competition. Like, he really does. He's not good as a Champions League player. He really has bad performances in the Champions League and some bad moments as well. So for me, I think Raheem Sterling should probably get a downgrade. If it's only by 1, fair enough. But I'm actually going to go and say he deserves to be an 86 overall. Now, another one. And this one might surprise a fair few of you, but this is actually Gerard Moreno. And I'm actually going to give him a +3 upgrade to his overall. Yeah, he didn't exactly have the most amazing Euro tournament for Spain, but I'm taking him from an 84 from the start of FIFA 21 to an 87, and I'll tell you why. I feel like this guy is a little overlooked. Yes, everyone, when they talk about Spain and their players and their strikers, they immediately go to Morata because that's who we sort of always know. That's a name that we're familiar with. I don't think a lot of just general football fans know a super amount about this guy. He has been stellar for Villarreal, alright? I bet you probably didn't even know this. Gerard Moreno is in the top 5 goals and assists combined this calendar year so far. He is honestly really having himself a bloody good half of the year. And he's done it for a team that ended up winning a European title, the Europa League. So honestly, I think this guy definitely deserves an upgrade, and not just a slight upgrade, but a big one. 87 for Moreno. Moving on to another striker who I think definitely deserves an upgrade as well. It's going to be Erling Haaland, all right? I gave Moreno a +3. I'm going to give Haaland a +4 upgrade and get him to an 88 overall. He's had another big year with more big numbers once again, this time for Dortmund. And as well as that, he's also in the top 5 leading goal scorers in the Europe's top 5 leagues as well. So again, just, of course, deserves a big upgrade, deserves to be close with Mbappe right now as well. I think just under Mbappe for now, but I think there's definitely the possibility that Erling Haaland will 100% maybe surpass Mbappe if he keeps going on this ridiculous goal-scoring streak of his. Another upgrade, and a slight one, should be for Memphis Depay. He is, again, another one of those players that might surprise you. He is in the top 5 goals and assists combined in this calendar year, just like Moreno. Some surprising names that are up in that total, right up there with Messi and Lewandowski and I think Ronaldo. I would almost give him an 87 from an 85 purely off of the fact that he's going to go to Barcelona and they maybe will pump up his stats a little bit more for playing in a big team like that, but I think I'm going to just pump the brakes a bit and give him an 86 overall for FIFA 22. Romelu Lukaku, everyone now is starting to remember this guy. I think this guy deserves a bit of respect, and he deserves a big overall increase as well. 85 overall. That's what he had at the beginning of FIFA 22. For me, he definitely deserves way higher than that. I'm giving him a +3 increase. We're going to take him all the way up to an 88 overall right here. Definitely deserves to be, I think, well, maybe not level with Haaland, but he is going to be level with Haaland. He deserves to be above Moreno, deserves to be above Memphis Depay. I think he's a class player. I don't know why Manchester United ever got rid of him. I don't understand. I think some of their fans said something like, oh, he doesn't really score in big games, but I just don't understand. Look at the options that you've had ever since. I think it was a mistake, even retrospectively, even at the time, I think, to let him go. And, well, he's turned into an absolute superstar again. And to finish this off, we'll do like 3 or 4 more, and we'll knock off a couple of young English players to see off this video. Let's go for Jack Grealish, okay? Rumors that he might be going to Manchester City. By the time this video comes out, he may have already gone, I don't know. But I think from an 80 overall at the beginning of FIFA 21, he should definitely get an upgrade to, I'm going to say 84. It's a big upgrade, and I think it's deserved. Some might even argue he deserves to be 85. I reckon if he gets a full season under his belt at a top team, he could really shine, and he could definitely get even higher than that. But look, I think we're going to keep it at an 84 because he deserves a decent upgrade, Jack Grealish. But like, again, his actual numbers wise in terms of in the Premier League, like I think he got like 6 goals and about 8 or 9 assists over the course of the entire season, which is not warranting really high or even sort of mid 80 overall numbers. So I think an 84 is a fair enough shout for Jack. Mason Mount, I know that it's almost become a bit of a meme how much he is loved by Lampard and by Southgate, and why does everyone love Mason Mount? But look, I think it's deserved. I really do think it is. And I think the reason for that is because he is showing that he's consistently getting better, and he just is that. He is consistent. He's also starting to have influence in some very big games as of late. Like, he actually had a couple of very decent performances for England, maybe tailed off toward the end, but he had some good performances. And on top of that, was also great for Chelsea in a deep Champions League run, making it all the way to the final, was great in the final, was great in a lot of their late, their very important games toward the end of the season. So I think he deserves respect, and I'm giving him an 83 overall. So that is a +3 upgrade from 80. Is it? Yeah, So, yeah, so I'm giving him 83. Now, coming up is Phil Foden. Now, this guy somehow didn't really play that much in the Euros, which I was surprised by. He got his minutes, but not an awful lot of them. Regardless, though, he was 79 at the beginning of FIFA 21, had a breakout season for Manchester City, like a seriously good, seriously great season. I mean, honestly, I'm very excited to see what he can do in this Manchester City team, because finally, Man City might actually, after this guy's career, have someone that they can see as their own. Like, Liverpool have got Gerrard, you've got, Chelsea, who have got Frank Lampard, and you've got Manchester United, who have got several players, but I mean, specifically Paul Scholes. I think that Mount could, what am I saying? Bloody Foden could finally be that player for Manchester City. Did you know that Phil Foden actually has a career goals and assist ratio per 90 minutes, aka just how many goal contributions he gets per game, of 0.7. He's getting a goal contribution every 0.7 games. That is seriously good for someone of his age. As a matter of fact, it's 8th of all time. Of all players in football history, he's 8th currently at the moment. It's just about whether he can maintain that ratio. So yeah, Phil Foden goes from a 79 to an 84 for me. I think he definitely deserves a big upgrade as well. So 84 for Phil Foden. And the final one is going to be Saka, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this season goes for him. I'm very confident that he's going to shake it off, and once he gets going for Arsenal, he'll be quite an influential player for them, or Arsenal continue to struggle, they slide down the table, and his career goes to tatters. I don't know. There's a possibility. There's a possibility for either to happen, but I believe in Saka that I'm sure he'll turn it around. I mean, again, still a class player, and has had a very good season for a struggling Arsenal side. He is the energy, the spark that team desperately needed. Without him, who knows where they'd be. And I really hope for his sake that he actually does have another pretty good season, and that, I don't know, Arsenal even maybe potentially win something, or if Saka just in general can win something of significance in his career, because he needs to ditch the demons of what happened in that penalty shootout, because otherwise he could end up having a bit of a situation where, there are some great players, amazing players, but they're only known for very specific things and they're not always the best. Like Harry Kane is an amazing, amazing player, but we really only think of how he's just never won a trophy. He's never won anything despite being so great. Steven Gerrard, one of the best English players, one of the best midfielders of all time, and when you hear of his name, really, my mind just goes to the slip. It just, I can't help it. But something positive for Saka. You remember what I said about Phil Foden, about his goal and assist ratio per 90 minutes being like 8th all time? Well, Saka is actually 7th all time right now. His career goal and assist ratio per 90 minutes is 0.8. He is getting 0.8 goals and assists a game. He is getting 0.8 goal contributions every single game, which again is amazing if he can keep that going. I guess we'll see whether or not he can. I'm going to get him to an 80 overall from 75 at the beginning of FIFA 21 because I definitely think Saka deserves to be in the 80s. I think it might be a little too early to start giving him like mid 80 numbers or even like high lows, but like a flat 80 should give him a decent platform to build on and to continue to increase his overall, which I'm sure he will do. All right, people, well, I think we can leave it here. That's about 10 to 15 odd players that I think will get either upgrades or downgrades in FIFA 22. If you've enjoyed this and you want another video, then let me know. I'll happily find more players that I think deserve either upgrades or downgrades, but let me know what you think. Have I been too generous or not generous enough with certain upgrades? Have I been too harsh or not harsh enough with certain downgrades? I'd be interested to see. I feel like there's a few that maybe some people might disagree with me on, and I think maybe some of those might be like Sterling, a -2 downgrade, and Moreno a +3 upgrade. I think with that, it's purely just down to maybe some people not really knowing much about him, but like, I don't know. Let me know what you think. We'll leave it here. Thank you all people for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, catch you later, and bye-bye.